the glory belongs to you. All the glory belongs to you, oh God. All the glory belongs to you. All
Hi,
the glory
everyone. I
belongs to
hope you all had a
you,
blessed day
oh
today.
God.
Mine was a blessed day and it was a busy
Yeah.
day, and I'm sure yours was as well.
All the
But
glory
happy
belongs to
Tuesday. So, what I
you.
want to do in this
All the
video is just
glory
simply
belongs to you,
review
oh
the
God.
information for the midterm exam for those of you who were not able to be in class on Saturday. So, what I'm going to advise you to do is to get your test review papers, your self-test papers, I'm sorry. Get your self-test paper and also your lessons as well, because the midterm will cover information that you reviewed on your self-test as well as on your lessons. So, hope you got everything by now. You can always stop the video, of course, go get your paperwork and your book and everything, and then come back and resume the video. So, let's get started. So these are the questions that will be asked on the midterm, or the items that will be discussed on the midterms. The midterm is broken into three parts, and the first part is going to be on um, scriptures that you would have to actually write out the scripture. Remember, we had scripture memory in our syllabus that we were supposed to know. So you're going to have to write out scriptures, and please write the scripture out the way they are giving to you in your self-test as well as in your book, using that version if possible. Also, there's the second part is a short answer, and the short answer meaning that the answer can be short, like a one-line sentence. And then the third part will actually be discussion questions that I would like to get at least a nice size paragraph from you in answering the questions. Okay, so those are the three parts. So let's go first to the scriptures that you would need to quote. And the quote means you would need to write them, of course, in the on the exam. So the first scripture will be from self-test 1. It will be Habakkuk, our theme scripture, chapter 2, verses 1 and 2, which is also your church vision scripture as well. So we all should know that. The next scripture will be from self-test 2, item number 4, which is Proverbs chapter 11, verse 14. And the next scripture will be from self-test 3, number 2, and it is John 17, verse 3. And the final scripture that you would need to know is from self-test 4, number 1, which is Isaiah 55, 10, and 11. Okay, the second part of the exam, like I mentioned, it will be short answer. So you will need to just answer each of the following questions. And the first one will be from self-test 1, number 5. And I believe that talks about stating the four summary of the four keys to hearing God's voice. State the four summary words, the words, just the words of the four key to hearing God's voice. Okay, and that's self-test 1, number 5. The next one will come from self-test 1, number 6, and you'll need to state the single sentence summary of the four keys to hearing God's voice. So that time I'm looking for the sentence. The first one was just state the four keys, just the words, just each one of the words. Like number 1 was stillness. Okay, so then you go from there. And then the next question will be for you to give a single sentence summary of the four keys to hearing God's voice. And that's from self-test 1, number 6. So please study that one. Try to do it verbatim without adding your own to it, so that so we can get that answer right. The next one will be from self-test 2, number 11, and I'm asking you to state Verkler's definition of submission. And that actually, I think that was one of your on your lessons also. But if you look at self-test 2, Item number 11, which is state Berkler's definition of submission. Okay, the next one will be from self-test 4, number 5, which is state the five senses of the spirit. State the five senses of the spirit. That's self-test 4, number 5. The next one will be from your lesson, which would be lesson number 2 and item number 10 from lesson 2, which is to state the definition of mysticism. State the definition of mysticism. Okay, the next part of the midterm is discussion questions. And the first discussion question will be coming from self-test 2, number 3, which asks to discuss at least 4 differences between the left and right hemisphere brain functions and how this information relates to your spiritual life. So that's self-test 2, and the item number is 3. The next one will be self-test 2, item number 1. List 5 important safeguards that should be in your life before you explore the spiritual world and hearing God's voice. That's self-test 2, item number 1. List 5 important safeguards. List the 5 safeguards that should be in your life before you explore the spiritual world and hearing God's voice. Okay, the next one is self-test 2, item number 2. What are the 5 qualities of a good counselor or advisor? I'm looking for the 5 qualities of a good counselor or an spiritual advisor. Okay, the next one will be coming from lesson 4. Okay, your homework lesson 4 and item number 4. And I'm looking for the Hebrew word for true prophecy and how its meaning clarify our understanding of the voice of God. Okay, so I'm looking for the word itself, the Hebrew word for true prophecy, and how its meaning, the meaning of that word, clarifies our understanding of the voice of God. And the next one will be, let's see. The next one will be lesson 4, number 6. Lesson 4, number 6, which is discuss the differences between study and meditation. The differences between the word study and meditation. And that's from lesson 4, item number 6. And that concludes the review for your midterm exam. Of course, if you have any questions, please, you can reply back via email or you can give me a call. I try to be available as much as I can, and I'll get back with you as soon as possible. And the midterm review will take place on next Saturday, and just be ready for it. And like I say, have any questions, just give me a call. God bless you all. You all have a blessed evening, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.
All the glory belongs to you. All the glory belongs to you, oh God. Yeah. All the glory belongs to you. All the glory belongs to you.